Welcome back, guys. So Nintendo once again is at it. They're going after the pirates, right? Well, we just talked about Nintendo getting these websites shut down and suing them for ROM distribution, and those websites are now gone. They've, since the last recording that I did talking about it, they originally removed all the Nintendo ROMs, and now the websites are just completely shut down. But what Nintendo has also done is they sent a request, a DMCA request, against a repository on GitHub for a Game Boy Advance emulator. So a lot of people think emulators are safe, right? And I think so in most regards. But this particular emulator from JSMU3, his repository on GitHub, it's been removed. I'll show the filed complaint from Nintendo or whoever's representing them up on screen so you could take a look, and I'll put a link in the description so you could read the claim as well. But really, the interesting thing is that it's not to do with the emulator necessarily. A lot of times these emulators, Nintendo and other companies, they're not going after the emulators unless there's some kind of infringement involved. And in this case, what it was this was like a web-based emulator. You could play Game Boy Advance games on your browser. I've never used such a thing, but I know it's pretty popular for some people. But what the problem was is that there were Nintendo games included in this repository. So you had like Legend of Zelda, Super Mario games, Advance Wars, Metroid, tons of Nintendo-owned properties included into this. So that's where the problem lies. And it's just crazy Nintendo found this, or it was, however they came across it and filed this claim. So right now, that's all it is a claim. It's been taken down. And it's just nuts, A lot of people love these old school Nintendo games, and there's not a lot of ways to play them. I know we've talked about this many times before, but this is not necessarily something new for Nintendo as well. They've taken down other emulators in the past, but they were emulators that did the same thing. They had included games with them. They weren't just, the software. Typically if there's no source code being copied or whatever, if it's all original work done with these emulators, there's really not an issue there, at least from my knowledge. But once you start including Nintendo games with those emulators and you're putting them on, famous popular websites, GitHub and, these other ROM sites, I guess, then the issue becomes apparent and Nintendo's going after you. They're suing people now. They're not just filing these takedowns and cease and desist. They're suing people. $100 million lawsuit against these guys for the ROM websites, or potentially anyway. Don't know how that's going to end, but we'll have to wait and see. Nintendo's won before, monetary claims against people for similar things. But once you really go back and look at this, it's just flipping nuts, because not that long ago, news came out that Nintendo was distributing an illegally copied ROM of Super Mario Brothers on their eShop. They found people using hex editors looking at the ROM that was being sold by Nintendo. They found the INES header inside the ROM, which was an old school emulator. And it was like, okay, so Nintendo downloaded this. So why would Nintendo download a ROM online and sell it to us? Aren't these their games? Don't they already have these ROMs available to them? That is something curious to me, because a lot of people are really into the emulation scene and, ROMs in general as a way to preserve history. And if Nintendo's not preserving their own history, having their own set of these ROMs and being able to distribute them the way they want, then who's really at task to have the historical, logs of this stuff, the backups, just, having that history intact and still being accessible. Some of these games eventually will go lost if people aren't, making backups, extracting ROMs and archiving them, you know what I mean? It's just a weird thing for Nintendo to be using a ROM that they found online. I don't know how they got it, but it was obviously a ROM that was set up for the INES emulator. So it was, according to them, a pirated copy of the game. it just baffles me. A lot of crazy stuff going on out there. I just wanted to bring this to your guys' attention. Nintendo's on that rampage, and it's getting pretty serious. You know what I mean, with the lawsuits and stuff like that, especially to the extent that they're going. Pretty intense stuff. Just wanted to share this with you guys. Smash that like button, follow me on Twitter, do all that awesome stuff. Drop a comment down below. I've been reading all the comments. I'm really curious what you guys think with all this craziness going on. Nintendo's just, man, it's a crazy time. They're going after everybody. It's nuts. So thank you guys, appreciate it. And I will catch y'all next time. Peace out. Bye-bye. Boom.